Hello everyone, this is the second lesson recording for IM1, May 18th, 2021. So where we've left off, we've said that angle K and angle V are congruent. Angle K and angle U are congruent to get AAS. Remember, AAS means the side pair that is not congruent, that cannot be the included, that cannot be the in-between side. So this is AAS. Now, what is a triangle congruent statement? So if it's MKL, triangle MKL is congruent to what triangle? M corresponds to which vertex? It's S because they both have one arc, right? So it's going to be S. And K has two arcs, so it corresponds to U. And the other angle has to be T. So it's angle SUT is congruent to angle, triangle SUT is congruent to triangle MKL. Okay. Now, which triangle is different to others? Looking at this, which one is different? Well, I have 4 measures here. I only have 3 and I have 3. Okay. So how can I tell? Well, I need to have at least 3 things that are common. 4, 2, 5. 4, 2, 5. 4, 2, 5. The sides are common here. Okay, what about this? 4 and 2 and 30 degrees. 4, 5 and 30 degrees. No, that's not enough. Okay, so I have 30 degrees and 4 and 4, but 2 and 5 does not match. So these two are the same. So this is different. Then looking at these two, which is the rule that we can use? It's SSS because 4, 2, and 5, we did not use the 30 degrees angle. Okay, then click on the image with congruent triangles because of AAS rule. AAS, that means two angles with side pair that is congruent, but it is not the included side. Okay, it's not the in between the two angle side. So it's going to be this one. Okay, these two are angle, side, angle. The side pair that is congruent is in between. So it's going to be this. The third one is just angle, angle, angle. All right, so then we have some cut sort to do. Okay, so let's just move all of those in here so that we can have a good view of those letters. Okay, they have not been matched yet. And we'll just do one at a time. Looking at this, what do we have here? We have one pair of angle, another pair of angle, and a third pair of angle. AAA is not a triangle congruent, so it goes in the not congruent. What about this? I have one side and another pair of angle. Two things are never going to be enough. What about this? I have side, another pair of side. So it's 3 pair of sides. So side, side, side. Again, another side, side, side. What about this? We have angle pair, another angle pair, and the side pair. And the side pair that are congruent is not in between. So this is angle, angle, side. So angle, angle, side. What about this? We have 2 sides, the notch and notch here, one pair of sides, second pair of sides, and an angle that is in between the 2 congruent pair of sides. So it's going to be side, angle, side. It's right there. All right, so then what about this? We have angle pair, another angle pair, and the side pair that is in between. So this is going to be angle, side, angle. And then finally, we have one pair of side that is congruent, second pair of side. 2 things are never enough, so it's going to be over here. Okay? And if I go to next card, it tells me that I got 13 out of 13 correct. Great work. All right, so then next 3 cards, it's sort of like a puzzle. I want you to try it yourself. Okay, so now getting back to our slides, using congruence to solve. Now once we've established that 2 triangles are congruent, or we are told that two triangles are congruent. How can we use that? Okay, well, what is measure of angle y? Well, we're told that triangle QRS is congruent to triangle WXY. Okay, these two triangles are congruent, but we're looking for m of angle y. That little m means what is the measure? Okay, measure is like how big is it? So how big is angle y? How big is angle y here? So we are looking for this angle here, angle y. We're looking for the angle measure, not the side length. We're looking for the angle measure. So I put the question mark there and to say that this is the angle that we're interested in. Okay, now can we just look at one triangle and figure out the angle measure of this angle? Well, if I have both the angles, 80 degrees and another angle, I can figure out using the triangle angle sum, right? They're always at 280 degrees, but we do not. So we need to rely on the triangle congruent statement that we're given. Okay, triangle congruent statement tells me triangle QRS is congruent to triangle WXY. Which vertex does vertex Y correspond to? Y is the last letter and S is the last letter of the two triangles. So that means Y and S correspond. S and Y correspond. So that means whatever the angle measure of angle S is going to be the same with the angle Y. So we know that this angle is 37 degrees. So that's how we can use the triangle congruence. Do not go by the looks of the triangle because the looks can be deceiving you, okay? Just we are not always going to be drawing an accurate diagram, okay? So whereas when you have the measurements, that is concrete, okay? So that trumps what the triangle looks like. Okay, now the second one says, given triangle ABC is congruent to triangle FED, solve for X. Okay, first thing I want you to notice is just like what I said, okay, do not go by the visual, okay, go with the information that you are given, because if you look at this, even just looking at the measurements, 10, 20, and 12, you can tell that, if this is 10 units long, they're claiming this is 10 units long, and they're claiming this is 20 units long. It should be double the length, but it's not, okay? However, if they tell you that is the length, that is the length, okay? So obviously this diagram is not accurate drawing of it, okay? So you, like I said, you cannot rely on your eyes to figure out which side corresponds to which. And as it is, you can't really tell, you know, they look somewhat similar, so you can't really tell which side corresponds to what. But what you can use is you can use this congruent statement that we are taught. Okay, so we use the congruent statement to solve for x. Solve for x means, where is the x? We have 2x right here. That means we're looking for, with the 2x is referring to this length here. Okay, so 2x is not referring to any angle measure, it's referring to the side length going from point D to point E. So side DE is what we are referring to. So we are told that triangles are congruent. So first thing we're going to do to solve for x, okay, the solve for x means find the value of variable x that makes the situation true. We need to identify corresponding side or angle. So we are looking for what is the side DE correspond to in the left triangle. Well, look at DE. Where is DE? DE is the last two letters of the congruence statement of the right triangle. That means it's going to correspond to the last two letters of the left triangle, which is BC. Where is BC? BC is going from B to C is right here. So this is the side they are congruent to. Okay, so I know that BC, the side BC, is congruent to side DE. That's what I would like you to start writing. And on the next page, next exercise, you're going to have to do this. So first part is identify the corresponding side or angle. Then the second part is asking you to write the equation. Now that I know that these two green sides are corresponding, and that means they are equal in measure, I can write the equation that equates, that says that the value of 20 is same as the value of 2x because they are same length. So I can write 20 is equal to 2x. Now remember, what's going on here? 2 is being multiplied to x. There is a default multiplication. Okay, so how do I undo to multiply by 2? I divide both sides by 2. And that becomes my giant 1. And you're left with x is equal to 20 divided by 2 is 10. So x is equal to 10. And I've actually gone ahead of myself because I've just solved for the variable. So that x is equal to 10 is my solving. So now you're going to do the practice. And Zoomers, my people from remote folks, print out or annotate on the document that you see here that I'm going to put in the chat. And as you solve, type in your answer in the chat so that I can see your progress and I can give you feedback as to whether you're doing it correctly or not. Roomers, those people who are in my classroom, you write directly on the handout that is given to you. So the document that I am pushing out right now is this one. Using the triangle congruence to solve. You have 4 problems. You are going to follow the 3 steps that I said. First part is identify the corresponding angle or side with the variables x and y. So in this case, where is the variable x and y? I have an x here and I have a y here, okay? And then you need to write the equation and then if needed, solve for the missing variable x and y. That's going to be what you are working on for the rest of the class. Here we go. The document asks for each of the 4 problems. You're going to identify the corresponding angle or sides with the variable x and y, and then write the equation and solve. Okay, so here I see the variable x. What is the variable x referring to? It is referring to the side length of df. Okay, so side length of df. You should not go by visual and say, oh, you know what, that kind of looks like this side or this side. You need to go from the congruence statement because remember, we cannot trust our eyes. We need to go from what information we are given that so given the 2 triangles are congruent, what does the side DF correspond to? D and F. DF is the first and the last letter of the right triangle. And so first and the last letter is AC. So where is AC? AC is right there. Okay, so these 2 sides are congruent. So I know that x and 13, they're going to have the same measure. So first part is I know that AC on the left triangle is congruent to DF. That's what I need to write first. That's for the x. And for B, then I need to write the equation. X is 13 and x have the same value. Okay, so I'm not using the congruent statement. I'm just using the equals because we're talking about values. And then finally, C says to solve. We already solved because we know what the value is. What about Y? Okay, Y is right here. So Y is referring to this angle measure right here. Okay, so what is this angle D? Angle D, this is angle D. What is this angle D correspond to on the left triangle? D is the very last letter of the congruence triangle statement. So and C is the last letter. So C and D, they correspond to each other. So I can say that for the first part, A, angle D, angle C,
and angle D are congruent to each other. Okay, and then